Hi everyone, thank you for coming along and taking time to listen. I want to assure you of my thoughts and prayers at this time, and do please get in touch if I can help with anything at all. This week I've been thinking about Palm Sunday, and particularly that image of Jesus riding into Jerusalem and what that might be saying to us in our context at this time. But before that, I just want to tell you a little story. A large black limousine stopped at a red traffic light. It was waiting for the lights to change when a small Mini pulled up at the side. The businessman in the back of the limo wound his window down and started bragging to the Mini owner. "This is the best limo that money can buy. It has ABS, airbags for all the passengers, automatic climate control, an onboard computer system, photochromatic glass, a minibar, a television with a satellite dish embedded in the roof, and..." At this point, the Mini owner interrupted. But do you have a DVD player in there?" Just then the lights changed and the limo driver pulled off. The businessman felt a little down that he didn't have a DVD player, and so that very day he had one installed into the limo. A few days passed when the businessman spotted the Mini. It was parked up at the side of a road with condensation running down on the inside of a glass and steam coming out of a half-open window. Upon seeing this, the businessman got out of his car and knocked on the window of the Mini. After a few moments, the Mini owner poked his head out. "I've installed a DVD player in my limo," said the businessman proudly. "What?" the man in the Mini responded rather rudely. "You've got me out of the shower for that?" Psychologists say that you can tell a lot about a person by the car they drive. And in fact, people buy a particular car to tell others something about themselves. For instance, a Bentley is associated with luxury and wealth. A Porsche is associated with going fast. A Land Rover associated with rugged adventure. Our car, a Ford Cougar, is quite utilitarian, comfortable to drive and not very economical, but it does a good job. I wonder what that really says about me. Normally, important people are driven around in luxury cars or limousines when the royal family or members of the government are on public duty. Great care is taken to provide them with the right transport to get them to the places they need in great comfort. It's part of their status and importance. In Jesus' time, 2,000 years ago, things were no different. Well, apart from the internal combustion engine hadn't been invented and there were no cars. But apart from that small detail, things were really no different. Important people like Julius Caesar, Pontius Pilate, King Herod would certainly have the best horses available to them. So just imagine what it was like when Jesus made his way into Jerusalem. Word had gone out that someone important was coming, but this person is not just important. He is the one who has come to free the people from years of oppression by the Romans. He's coming to bring about change in Jerusalem. They have waited for hundreds of years. News has got through that this man is able to do things that no one else can. In fact, this man is a great king, just like their great historical King David. So I imagine that great efforts are made in preparation to welcome Jesus into Jerusalem. He was to be treated as royalty. There was great excitement and expectation. The crowds turned out to see him, welcome him and cheer him on his way. But hang on a minute, what's this? He's riding on a donkey, and where are his fine kingly clothes? Where is his royal procession? Is this really a king? Is he the Messiah they had waited for? Jesus was welcomed as the Messiah by the crowd, who laid their cloaks in the road before him as a sign of their submission. However, their expectations of a Messiah were very different to Jesus, that Messiah. The crowd would have expected a victorious earthly king who would defeat the Romans and restore Israel to the position it had enjoyed under their great King David. But Jesus came on a donkey, not the sort of fine horse you would expect a great leader or warrior to turn up on. Jesus came to do away with earthly expectations. He came not on a war horse, but on a donkey, an animal of peace. And although some welcomed him at the time, this certainly would not make Jesus popular with the majority. And we know in a few days, those people who cheered and welcomed him would turn against him and reject him, because he came with a message of peace and love, not of power and of war. And with that, he turned the expectations of a world completely upside down. Over the past few weeks, our world has been turned upside down. Many of our expectations, our hopes and dreams have been pulled from under our feet. And although the world felt very uncertain before all this, now that uncertainty has turned into a vague anticipation of somehow that we will get through this, even though the world may be a very different place when we do. Some of what we valued before all of this has paled into insignificance. But in this time, when the world has been turned upside down, we are seeing a new hope emerge. It seems strange to talk about hope in this time of uncertainty, yet this is hope not of the things on the old, but it is a hope built on what we actually all value the most. Our relationships, our friends, our family, our love for others, and the value that we see in humanity, in the many acts of kindness, compassion, empathy, care, kind-heartedness and love. That's the new hope, my friends. The hope of God-given love. The hope where people are making sacrifices for the love of others. That's the hope that God has given us in Jesus. A hope built on love, where love conquers everything. Where the world's expectations are turned upside down, and where love breaks through the grim darkness of reality to reveal the light. Thank you for staying with me and to listen. I really do look forward to the day when we can meet again. In the meantime, thank you for being there. Thank you to all those people who are helping to keep everything going. Those in our hospitals, those key workers, those who are just delivering parcels and everything like that. Those small jobs that need doing. Call me if you're bored and have had enough of talking to the walls, and I can bore you a little bit more. Love to you all. Keep courage. Keep loving each other. Stay safe and stay well.